Yo, what up guys, it's Flark and welcome to another one of my 10.1 PvP starter guides where I go over the builds and gearing to make you as impactful and powerful in PvP as possible. A lot of alliteration there. This one's probably one you didn't expect. BM Hunter. I don't think I've done any Hunter content on my channel ever. But Flarkarina, that Hunter you see there, Flarkarina, the Elite Hunter, he got 2,800 experience in solo shuffle in 200 rounds last season. That's it. Those are the only games of Hunter I've pretty much ever played. And 2,800. And I'm old. That's insane. That's 2,800. That's anybody. You could do that. You could do that. I tell you how to do that right now. You get 2,800 yourself. That's easy. I don't understand. This is the easiest spec to play in the entire game. So I'm going to tell you how to do that right now, and then you're going to win every game. Sick. Okay. Yeah, let's get into it. Gearing. Sure. If you know any of my starter guides, if you've watched them, you know exactly what I'm going to say, which is that crit is a terrible stat. It is 150% effectiveness in PvP instead of the 175% it was last patch, and the 200% crit damage and healing that it was in PvE, that it is in PvE, right? So crit is 200% generally, now it's 150% in PvP. That is just a flat 50% nerf. That is half effectiveness. And if you reduce the effectiveness of any stat by half, it becomes a lot worse, right? So even if a class has mechanics that play on crit, it generally is still not even good enough to have any crit. And BM Hunter does have that, by the way. It just doesn't matter. Haste and Mastery are just better. So you get Haste and Mastery on every single piece, and that's very easy to do because if something has Mastery and Crit, you choose the Mastery. If something has Haste and Crit, you choose the Haste. If something has Haste and Mastery, you could choose either. And there are merits to both. Mastery just has tons of output because your pets hit hard and your pets do a lot of damage because you're a beast Mastery hunter. And also, Kill Command is very big button press, and it just really gets a lot of value from Mastery. But Haste has a ton of value too because it both increases your pet damage and your own damage because your pets attack faster when you have Haste, but also it plays into some other things like faster globals means, and faster cooldowns means faster button presses to get your Bestial Wrath back up, because when you press Barb Shot, it gives you a cooldown reduction on Bestial Wrath. But also, certain things give you more charges of abilities, like Dire Beast giving you Kill Command or Cobra Shot reducing Kill Command. And the faster you can press these globals, the faster you can get the buttons back up. So you can press them even faster, which means you can press other buttons faster and get your offensive cooldowns back up, and it compounds, right? So they're synergistic, and they're both fantastic. So get a lot of both. I have pieces with Mastery on them, like Bracers, Chest. I have pieces with Haste, like Legs, Waist. And you have a ton of Haste from Insignia. I have no pieces with crit on them. And that's the way it should be. As for your tier set, let me show you something cool. If you bring up your adventure journal and you go over to this drop down and you pick Shadowlands for some reason, then you go over to loot and then you go to item sets, you can see the gear that you will get your 4 set and all the stats on it. Makes it very easy. And you can see right off the bat, what are we going to be getting here? Shoulders have Haste main stat for that's amazing. Then we have Legs, first main stat Mastery. Well, that's amazing. And then we have a bunch of stuff with crit. But you don't like crit, Flarkness, so you probably don't use the tier set, right? Well, no. Because these are crit off stat. Look how much Mastery that has. Look how much Haste that has. It doesn't really have that much crit. It has the other stats. Well, crit is still bad, but it's replacing Verse. It's not replacing Mastery or Haste, because look how much Haste this has on it. In fact, you're getting way more Haste than you would have gotten from the subsequent hands. It's replacing versatility. And you actually have more than enough versatility when you are in full conquest gear, full purples, and you hit that PvP dummy to see how much versatility you actually have. You are already going to have so much verse in blues, so in purple you're going to have so much more, and it DRs at 30%, and you really don't even need 30% to begin with, which means you're absolutely fine giving up the verse on these gloves, right? On this chest to get that much Mastery, to get that much Haste, and you get the 4 set bonus. Now the 4 set's not fantastic, but a damage increase and a cooldown reduction is fine. It's just additional bonus on top of getting really, really high amounts of your best 2 stats, Mastery and Haste, because again, your verse is DR'd, It's not your best stat anymore. You have more than enough. Mastery and haste are your best output stats by far. So, let me recap. This is how you get your 4 set. Shoulders, chest, gloves, legs. And that's a 4 set. You're getting haste and mastery on every piece. You're gemming haste and mastery. You're enchanting mastery or haste, whichever one suits your playstyle a little more. I'm rolling with haste, as you can see. Grab a weapon with that scope and an insignia. And you, my friend, have a very, very strong BM Hunter. But that is not all you need. So let's pull up the talents real quick. I'm going to give you one build and exactly one build only because I only played one build and I did not change a single talent, and that build works perfectly in the new patch with haste and mastery because it is all focused around making you and your pet do as much damage as possible single target, which is what BM excels at because you stun trap the healer and do damage single target to the kill target. And this does that better than anything you could possibly ask for. So you avoid everything that gives you cleave, multi-shot, beast cleave. It's not that important. You're not a Frosty, okay? You're not gripping everybody and stunning them and doing a big go. You are killing one player, putting a mortal strike on them, putting bleeds on them, putting kill commands into them, putting never-ending ruthless damage into them, pressing 2 and then 3 in that order, and you're CCing the healer with stun trap all of the time, and eventually they just can't handle it anymore, and dampening stacks up, and they die, and you win. So, no cleave talents. Instead, barb shot, obviously. This entire package, this makes your pet do more damage and gives you a huge bleed. Everything that's bleed focused, barb shot damage, that's a huge bleed. Everything that's bleed focused, of course, you want. Kill command damage, massive. Animal companion, just more damage. Barb shot, crit chance. You don't really care too much about crit chance, but this gets you pretty much unlocks the rest of your talent tree. Since you do not want Beast Cleave, you would never talent into that. Bestial Wrath, major offensive cooldown. Bestial Wrath, cooldown reduction. I was talking about that as being part of your kit, so of course it's good. Then here are the things that I talk about where you get charges of things, right? When you're given charges of things, it really does increase the value of haste because you want to spend all the charges of that thing before you press the thing that gives you the charges back. Otherwise, you're overlapping. So you can, with fast globals, you can spend, generate, spend, and those spending of the barb shot gives you your Bestial Wrath back, which gives you charges of barb shot. So that haste is a compounding positive loop where you just constantly keep pressing buttons, and that's why every BM Hunter is 2800 for some reason, including me. You just have never-ending damage, right? Okay, fine. Critical damage. Again, this is pretty bad now, unfortunately, because this is, what did I say? I said in the beginning, even classes with crit damage modifiers or some other crit bonus, like something that procs off of a critical strike, which Frosty K has, Ice Cap. But Frosty K still doesn't run crit. And I don't think BM Hunter ever will either. In fact, I'm 99% sure you could play this setup and this stats the entire time and get rating just like I did. Because it's still reduced by 50%. You know what's even crazier about this talent? Watch this. It's not even that good. Now it's 21% because I hit a PvP dummy, right? The only problem is that the alternative is a reset on kill command. Now, with the haste, we're getting, this is the only thing I would even recommend even thinking about swapping. With the haste that we're getting in this new season, having that much haste, Killer Cobra actually could, because your globals are so fast, you might actually run out of charges of things to press, because with all your buffs, you are 50% haste, and God forbid you get PI, oh my God, right? So you could actually just be a complete torrential downpour of damage with that, since this has got so much less value. But still probably, if not for exactly that haste bomb scenario, you will probably still end up running Piercing Fangs. The only choice, and everything else is guaranteed, like this, that makes your pet do more damage, and Dire Frenzy, or Dire Command, which buffs Dire Beast, because it gives you another one. And then Dire Frenzy, that's what I was just talking about, makes it do a lot more damage and last longer. And then Dire Pack, which makes your kill command more accessible and resets its cooldown, which is the whole charge positive feedback loop I was talking about. Okay, good. You're on the same page. We got it. This build that will be linked in the description has never-ending, overwhelming single target damage that perfectly synergizes with haste and master. Now we'll look over at the left side. The left side, you are getting utility, you are getting damage reduction, you are getting CC, and you are getting damage at the bottom. Utility, Mend Pet. You have a kick. You have disengage for kiting. You have better self-healing with natural mending. You have a massive wall from survival of the fittest. You have another self-heal and rejuvenating wind. You have movement speed for kiting. You have binding shot for stun trap. You have stun for stun trap. You have a massive AoE root to peel melee off of you. You have a purge. You have another root, tar trap, another root, right? This is, this is the thing that works off of the root, sorry. So this is the root you have from tar trap, and then this is the thing that makes it even better as a peel because it makes them deal less damage when you root them. Cool. Then you have crit chance, which is not that great, but you have to go into it for Death Chakram, which is massive because it's 15% more damage, and focus gen, and it even hits pretty hard itself. So, 10% more damage. It compounds 15% every time it hits. So Chakram itself starts ramping up damage, and then you and your pet deal 10% more damage, which is just defensive cooldown, right? So Death Chakram. It's actually funny how little of these things you actually have to read in order to be able to play BM. I mean, this is a perfect masterclass in taking a spec and being like, why am I so high rated on this despite playing so little of it? Sorry, BM Hunter mains. I mean, there you go. Sorry, bro. Great. Okay, so Death Chakram, again, does a bunch of damage, compounds damage 15% each time, adds 10% of damage to you and your pet, and we already talked about how good your pet damage is. So there's more pet damage, then there's more kill command damage, and then there's even more kill command damage, and of course the double charges. I've been talking about double charges the entire time, so yes, this is what gives you that alpha predator. No, you would not run the execute. Yes, you would run the double charge. Finally, you have the bleed damage modifier that is even an execute in and of itself, and you have tons of bleeds that we already talked about, and you have steel trap that puts yet another bleed on them, and it's actually a fantastic peel. Now, it does break, so you could either use this to add bleed damage to a kill target, and then also it doesn't break from like 2 barb shot presses, so you could root them, add the bleed effect, barb shot, and then break it with a kill command. And that's just like a peel and damage at the same time. Or you can just put it on a target that's chasing you like a demon hunter or a warrior and not worry too much about the damage done, but certainly the root that it puts them in. Because you have so many roots, it's very difficult for a well-peeled demon hunter or arms warrior to connect to you if you do it right. And that's it. That's BM Hunter. Fantastic. You have utility, damage, output, bleeds. Good. It's fundamentally obscene how little I've played of this spec, yet the rating that I acquired in Solo Shuffle. And it's not because I'm cool. I am not tooting my own horn. Everybody could do this. You will do this. Cool. You know, or not, whatever. Kindred Beasts. This is the talent I was talking about. When you have a ferocity pet out with Immortal Strike like my bird. Bird. It's like a vulture with a Mortal Strike effect. It's a ferocity pet. When you have that out and you press its heroism ability, which is its command pet ability, and you have Kindred Beasts, it is now usable in PvP. It is not as effective, but it is still effective. It is a mass hero, which is a mass haste gain for 20 seconds. When you press that, watch this. 20 seconds, 12% haste, mass heroism, huge amount of haste gen, and scales with all your haste modifiers, so it's actually multiplicative with all of those, which just gives you obscene amounts of haste, which is a great stat. Bestial Wrath provides immunity to fear and horror effects for you and your pets. I mean, that's just no-brainer. You don't want your pets to get healed, or peeled rather, and it increases their attack speed, which is compounding with haste, so it just makes them do even more damage. And then finally, a talent that effectively everybody uses. I think it was the legendary, right? The legendary effect. It's been baked in there. Or maybe, no, it was always this PvP talent, and then the legendary Craven made it even better. Nobody likes Craven. Glad that's not in the game. But anyway, this is still completely imperative. It removes dots on you, which is one of your biggest weakness as a hunter, because you can't kite out dots. So, of course, you need this, and it turns one of your biggest weaknesses into something you can absolutely deal with. And then when you come out of Fame, so Fame drops target, of course, in addition to the oops, did I die effect, but nobody really gets fooled by that in Solo Shuffle because when you die, the Solo Shuffle round ends. So it's just like a drop target, and like you can use it to disrupt something, like you can feign a kidney or you can feign a burst spell and you can get rid of it. Then when you come out of it, you still take a lot less damage and you dropped all your dots. So it's like one button press, right? Feign. For all of that effect. It effectively, even though it doesn't feel like much, it's only 1.5 seconds and dropping your dots. It does so many different things, dropping target, immuning an attack, all of that together, that you can get a lot of survivability that's just not even expected you to have. It doesn't sound like this talent gives you much survivability, but it absolutely does. So you run that and you feign on cooldown when you're in trouble, and it gives you another answer. That's it. It'd be effectively pretty comical for me to show you the BM Hunter rotation, but I suppose that I could. Here's an offensive cooldown, Bestial Wrath. Here's another one, Dire Beast. Here's another one, Bloodshed. And here's another one, Death Chakram. You press them all. Just press them all, right? And I'll even wait for my hero to come up so you can see how fast I can run through these offensive cooldowns. And then, again, you can use Tar Trap to peel. You could even throw it out as burst. But you just press Barb Shot, Kill Command, Barb Shot, Kill Command, Barb Shot, Kill Command, Barb Shot, Kill, Barb Kill, Barb Shot, Kill, All right, okay. That's all you do. That's all you do, because you will always have charges of those things. And if, God forbid, you don't, you can throw in a Cobra Shot. And it reduces the cooldown of Kill Command, so it'll effectively probably just immediately give you a Kill Command charge back, because it's probably about that close. Anyway, so double Barb Shot, because you're going to generate charges from Bestial Wrath, and then roll your face across your offensive cooldowns and then just start doing the rotation. And your damage will be 70k DPS the entire time on a PvP dummy, which translates to effectively, eventually unhealable damage. Every BM Hunter, win condition, in Solo Shuffle, could be doing unhealable damage until the game ends, with Stun Trap on the healer. So, double barbed, pop the hero. Double barbed, get your offensive cooldowns. You see how those charges are back. Get your offensive cooldowns. I rolled my face across them. Not literally, but almost. And then you just press 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, 2. Look, my Bestial Wrath is coming back up. 1, 2. And then look. 3, 2, 1, 1, 2. You can throw the Tar Trap in there. It does do pretty decent damn. And look, my Bestial Wrath is back up, which gave me charges, so I can go 3, 2, 1, 2, 75k DPS the entire time. Dire Beast. 3, 2. Well, look at that. What's coming up? Death Chakram. T. 1, 2. Right. Completely unhealable damage, win every game. You're loving it. I'm loving it. We're both loving it. Enjoy, BM Hunters. See you around.